Section 5. Spaceship type and size. Designing a spacecraft capable of crewed interstellar travel presents an enormous challenge, especially when factoring in the vast distances, prolonged travel times, and the need for self-sufficiency over potentially decades or even centuries. The spacecraft must not only be capable of achieving relativistic speeds but also support human life and ensure the physical and psychological well-being of the crew over long duration missions. In this section, we will explore the key characteristics and design considerations for a spacecraft suitable for interstellar travel, including its type, size, structural integrity, life support systems. We will also examine the practical aspects of artificial gravity, fuel storage, and other mission-critical features. Spaceship type. The type of the spacecraft chosen for a crewed interstellar mission would likely resemble a hybrid between modern space exploration vehicles and concepts derived from advanced propulsion technologies. Given the scale and the complexity of such mission, the spacecraft would need to incorporate multiple modules for different purposes, including propulsion, life support, scientific research, and habitation. Here are some possible uh, spacecraft designs. Long hull design. The spacecraft could be designed with a long cylindrical toroidal shape to reduce drag and optimize the internal arrangement of the crew quarters propulsion system and fuel storage. A long hull design maximizes the use of space for habitation while maintaining structural integrity during the journey. Additionally, such designs could minimize radiation exposure by allowing the crew to live in the inner parts of the ship, shielded by the outer hull. Nuclear fusion propulsion. Given the nuclear fusion propulsion is expected to be the most likely option for interstellar travel in the next 200 years, like we said, the spacecraft would likely incorporate large fusion reactors designed to provide sustained thrust over long periods. These fusion reactors would require significant shielding, cooling systems, and energy generation capacity to power both the propulsion and life support systems. And then modular approach. A modular approach might be taken where different sections of the spacecraft, such as propulsion systems, science labs, and living quarters, can be constructed and launched separately and then assembled in space. This would allow more efficient manufacturing and assembly and provide more flexibility in the design of each module. The size of spacecraft for interstellar travel is one of the most difficult factors to determine, as it must be large enough to support the crew, store uh, sufficient fuel and supplies, and withstand the stresses of high-speed travel. You can draw comparisons to modern spacecraft and apply assumptions assumptions based on current technology and make an overall estimation. A rough estimation for length of interstellar spacecraft would be placed at it at approximately 100 meters, 328 feet, or roughly 3 times the length of the largest commercial airliners. This would provide uh, ample place for crew quarters, laboratories, propulsion, and shielding. For comparison, NASA's proposed Icarus fusion-powered spacecraft is projected to be around 100 meters in length. So obviously we don't know exactly how long it will be, but based on again on an information and calculations we have made, the minimum length will be around 100 meters. It may be even much larger, like 200 or 300 meters. The brief idea is that such interstellar spaceship will be multiple times, like or at least couple of times bigger than biggest commercial airliners we know today, like Airbus A380 or Boeing 747. So it will be enormous. The spacecraft width and height would likely proportionate to the length of the ensure stability during travel. The width might be around 40 meters and the height approximately like 25 meters. These dimensions would allow for a sufficient amount of internal space for multiple decks, providing room for habitation, exercise areas, common spaces, and facilities for long duration living. The mass of the spacecraft is heavily dependent on the materials used for construction, the type of propulsion system, and the design considerations for and the design considerations for life support and radiation shielding. For a spacecraft with nuclear fusion engine, we can estimate that spacecraft would weigh something like between from 500 to 1,000 tons, maybe even more, maybe even more. We should consider that it will be like very long travel, couple of years, maybe decades, as we said, and like entire life supports, like including everything we know in everyday life, must be there on spaceship. So it should be like gigantic. The estimate accounts for the need for radiation protection, shielding from cosmic rays, life support systems, and propulsion system. Given the scale of such mission, it is reasonable to assume that a ship of this magnitude would be several times the size of modern interplanetary spacecraft like the International Space Station, which weighs around 420 tons. Structural integrity and materials. To withstand the harsh conditions of deep space, the spacecraft would need to be constructed from advanced materials capable of withstanding the stresses associated with relativistic travel. Current materials such as aluminum alloys and carbon composites are insufficient for such missions, as they would be vulnerable to damage from high-speed impacts with micrometeoroids and cosmic radiation. Future interstellar spacecraft would need to use advanced materials such as graphene and carbon nanotubes. These materials are highly resistant to both radiation and mechanical stress and would offer exceptional strength to weight ratios. Their ability to conduct heat and electricity would also be advantageous for spacecraft systems. Tungsten and boron carbide used in the areas requiring high resistance to heat and radiation. These materials would form part of the spacecraft's external sheet. They could protect against high velocity particles, cosmic rays, and other forms of space debris. And radiation shielding. The spacecraft would need an advanced radiation shielding system to protect the crew from the harmful effects of cosmic rays, solar flares, and other forms of radiation. This could include a combination of magnetic fields, water-based shields, and passive materials like hydrogen-rich polymers. Then again, we come to artificial gravity. This is also a very important thing. One of the most important features for the crew's long-term health and well-being during the journey is the creation of artificial gravity. Long-term exposure to microgravity has been shown to cause various health issues for astronauts, such as muscle atrophy, bone density loss, and the fluid redistribution. To mitigate these issues, the spacecraft would need to generate artificial gravity. The most feasible way to generate artificial gravity on an interstellar spacecraft through its centrifugal force. This could be achieved by rotating parts of the spacecraft, such as a ring or toroidal section, to simulate gravity. The rotation of the spacecraft would generate an outward force that would push objects and crew members toward the outer wall of the rotation section, creating sensation similar to gravity. Rotating habitating module. The spacecraft could have a rotating section where the crew would spend most of their time. This module would spin at a rate sufficient to generate 1 g gravity, so Earth gravity, which is ideal level of gravity to maintain muscle and bone health, obviously. Design considerations for rotation. To minimize any negative effects from rotation, such as dizziness or disorientation, the spacecraft rotation would need to be carefully controlled. The rotation speed and radius of the spinning section would need to be optimized to create artificial gravity without inducing adverse effects like Coriolis forces, which would affect movement and comfort. Given the immense energy demands of an interstellar mission, the spacecraft would require a robust power generation system. A fusion-powered propulsion system would likely require a substantial amount of power to initiate and sustain reactions. In addition, the ship's life support systems, artificial gravity systems, and scientific equipment would all demand continuous power. So fusion reactors and nuclear fusion reactors capable of producing large amounts of energy would likely be the primary power source. Fusion reactors could provide power for propulsion system as well as for the spacecraft's other functions. These reactors would need to be shelled and self-sustaining, requiring no external fuel after launch. Then energy storage. The spacecraft would need to store energy in the form of advanced batteries or supercapacitors to handle energy surges and to ensure that the spacecraft remains functional during periods when the fusion reactor is not operating at full capacity. And then fuel. The spacecraft's fuel for propulsion would also be major concern. If a Using fusion-based propulsion system, the spacecraft could carry hydrogen or deuterium as fuel, which could be used in nuclear fusion reactions. A small amount of antimatter might also be considered for boosting propulsion capabilities, though this would likely be a very small component of the overall fuel system. Designing an interstellar spacecraft presents unique challenges, not only because of the technological hurdles involved in propulsion and fuel, but also due to human factor. The spacecraft must provide a stable, life-sustaining environment for the crew while mitigating the effects of long-duration space travel, including microgravity and radiation exposure. The spacecraft would likely be a long cylindrical toroidal design, measuring at least 100 meters in length and weighing between 500 to 1,000 metric tons without fuel. So this is very important. From 500 to 1,000 tons, we are talking about it, it's without fuel. It would be rely on advanced materials and a nuclear fusion propulsion system capable of achieving relativistic speeds. Artificial gravity would be generated using centrifugal force, and energy for the spacecraft would come from the, again, fusion reactors. So next, we will discuss the mission goals and objectives of interstellar crewed mission.